So last time on Standard Aerei, you guys were hired to take on a mission. You ended up breaking into the Lobely Gardens, into the home of a golden dragon named Myson, who caught you and then sent you to jail. Shift found out some things about his past while he was there, and now all of you in jail, having lots of time to think about a lot of different stuff. And that's where we can pick up.
About how much time has passed since we've been thrown in the cell?
Honestly, probably at least a couple of hours. Night has definitely fallen. The shift has changed. There's a guard.
Wait, shift's changed? He's not green anymore?
No, like the guard shift has changed.
Oh, got it. Okay.
You can't face step in order to do that in here.
Right, because the jail cell has anti-magic things. Right, mm-hmm. Got it. Okay.
Which color are you again?
I am currently green. Spring.
Okay, so you're happy. Okay.
Yes. Well...
That's subjective.
Yeah.
He's pleasant.
Yes, pleasant is, I think, a better adjective.
He's naive.
He's always naive, but...
That's my job.
No, it's the iceberg's fault, Curran.
It's always the iceberg's fault. So Shift will approach, I guess, Hank first, because he kind of just instinctively kind of falls in line with everybody else whose Hanks are kind of pseudo-leader at this point. So
fuck. It's going so well.
Yeah.
It's going so well.
Shift will go up to Hank and be like, Hank, I'm going to have to apologize for my behavior prior. As you can tell, I'm not very consistent in how I present myself sometimes, and there's a couple of touchy subjects, specifically the line of questioning that I brought forth to you and the rest of the group. And if you felt any way offended, or if I upset anyone or any of the group, I deeply apologize. I've been doing this for quite some time now, and I would at some point like it to stop. So if I felt a little forward in my questioning, I'm sorry. I'm deeply sorry.
I will take my resentment of you to the grave with me. Hank just sarcastically replies. Like dripping sarcasm. probably just like head on the bars, like looking out of the cell. Just
yeah, I feel like Ari on his head would just go like if birds could be sarcastic.
Right. I'm gonna say Shift is yes, naive, but I think he can pick up on the sarcasm because he is a worldly fellow. But he will notice that Hank is staring deeply into the outside world beyond the bars and continue his conversation. I don't know how much longer I have left with you, but I would like to use that time to try and find a way to get you out of this predicament. How did we get into this predicament again? All I remember is we were fighting I assume some type of genie, and then Tia turned into a cat, and then a guy who I could tell wasn't just a guy decided to lock us up in the... What were you attempting to do, I guess, is the question.
I was trying to get a room with a view.
Well, congratulations, sir. This is quite the view.
Because we were doing one of the contracts that you kind of skipped out on for the decision making.
Oh, right. Which one? Where? What? Yeah. What did the coin land on?
Crowns. We did the land thing. Hence, and he just gestures arm widely. Yeah, we are on land.
Oh, he was the dragon.
Yes.
Okay. It's all.
His name is Myson, and he's number 2 on my shit list.
Who's number 1? I hope it's not me.
Gonathan for sending me to this fucking job.
All right, well, fair enough.
And if he does post bail, I'm going to take my hands and put him around his fat, doughy neck.
Well, let's focus on one thing at a time, Hank. We're going to get ourselves out of here first. Now, I heard the guard say that this jail cell is anti-magic, so we can't use any of our usual tricks now, can we? Any ideas?
Well, we could call one of the guards over. Big guy can grab him by the shirt, smash him against the bar, take his keys. But I feel like if he doesn't have keys, that's going to look really bad.
Why don't you guys give me a perception check?
The door's unlocked.
I assume I don't because I'm sleeping, yes.
You're sleeping. Anyone is awake.
It's a good start. I just rolled a 3.
17.
14.
9.
Okay. So Tia and Hank both immediately notice that there's literally a guard not even a foot away, just like with his arms crossed, like leaning against the wall, listening to you dumbasses talk about this shit. Like, yeah, okay, you're gonna...
Yeah. Hank gives him a wry little wave, like, through the bars, like, hi. like, maybe it was intentional.
Yeah, he kind of raises a hand. He's like a dwarvish guy, and he raises a hand, and just as sarcastically, like, waggles his head and waves his fingers at you, like, hey, stupid.
Big words for a small man outside of arm's reach.
I don't need to fight you. You're already in jail.
Yeah, I recognize that. That's why I'm using my only thing left. Words.
Your big mouth and nothing to back it up with, also good.
Perhaps a different tact, Hank. Perhaps a different tact.
You want to speak with our consultant here, see if maybe he's in on it? Because I assume that the guard is still listening, right?
Yeah, he's just standing there keeping guard. I mean, that's his job.
Yeah, I mean, sure, why not? So Shift will kind of like put his face up against the bars and be like, sir, what is your name? Sir?
Me? He points to himself.
No, the other idiot.
Yes, you sir.
Okay.
Hank.
You can call me Nunya. None your business.
Aha.
It's a regional name.
That is quite clever.
Comes off the asshole branch of the family.
Generally, yeah.
Hank.
He just kind of smiles blithely. He doesn't give a shit.
Hank doesn't either. He's just doing it to be like as much of a nuisance as possible. Of just like, I may be in here, but you're supposed to watch me. So while you're watching me,
Yeah, this guy seems completely unfazed. Like, you may as well be a toddler, and he's the dad that doesn't sleep anymore and gives no fucks and wants to burn the world.
I'll find something that hurt those feelings. Your beard is stupid.
What's feelings? You have those? Ew. Keep them to yourself. I hear they're contagious.
And quite sporadic sometimes. Trust me, I know from experience. Quick question for you.
Great, I got nothing but time for questions.
Fantastic, great, because I have
Great.
so many.
Great. You can keep them to yourself, though.
Oh, but you said you had time for the...
Oh, I have time. It doesn't mean I care.
Oh, okay. So let me ask you this then, because I've traveled quite a lot, and I know
That's
that every...
nice for you.
That's not really. If you only fucking knew. And then you can see like Shift's skin like kind of flare red a little bit, but then go back to green. Anyways, the question is: every justice system, I assume that you're a part of, has rules, and I would like to be familiarized with the set of rules of my.
The rule is: shut up, stay in the jail cell until you're bailed out. And leave me alone, or I'll make your life miserable.
And if we don't get bailed out?
Well, then you'll end up seeing the justice in about a week.
Okay, see, this is the information that I would like. Yes, please, justice. What is this? What is the justice?
The justice oversees all of the crime in the area, supposedly the most just person in the village. Although you pissed him off, so I don't know how much luck that's going to be to you.
I'm sorry, who's the justice, and how did we piss them off?
Mason. You met him. He owns Lobely Garden.
The gardener is the justice?
The dragon is the justice.
I'm sorry, the dragon? He's an elf. I think you're confused.
Yes, I must be confused. I'm just gonna lean back and like whisper in like Hank's ear, do they not know that he's a dragon?
You know what, that's a little murky.
Okay, I don't think it's murky anymore. I think we cleared it up. And he's gonna switch back to the guard and be like, yes, the elf. I'm sorry, I have fits sometimes, and I lose.
I would like to interrupt.
Tia's interjecting.
Tia hears Lovely Gardens and remembers back to the flyer, the most beautiful gardens, and she's reading it in the letter. So she's now panicking, interrupting, and going to the guard like, guard.
What?
Have you seen any other Ripitons?
Yeah, I think there's like one here.
Do you know them? Where are they?
Why does it matter when you're in a cell?
Because later.
Is that someone you're gonna hurt?
No.
Why would I tell you anything?
No.
There's no reason for me to tell
I'm trying to
criminals
find somebody who
who's
I love.
sitting in a cell anything that isn't relevant to their case, and I'd say that's probably not relevant.
When's dinner?
You missed it, so I guess you're waiting for breakfast. Which should be, and he lifts his arm, and he, lifts up his armor a little bit. He's got, a mithril thing kind of going on, and underneath he's actually got a watch. And he goes, 3 more hours.
Can I at least get a juice box or something? I'm dying of thirst.
No. Enjoy that thirstiness.
A cup of water. a rock to suck on. I don't know.
There's a basin in the corner. I hope you haven't been using as your latrine, because it was your water.
Son of a bitch.
Did anyone use that?
Sorry.
Oh, right.
See, a chamber pot. Never mind.
Tia's probably sitting down now, kind of freaking out.
Yeah, the guard's kind of gonna, pointedly open up, a magazine in front of you, lick his thumb, open it noisily kind of thing, and pointedly ignore you all. He's watching you still, you can tell he's still watching you, but he's very much ignoring you.
One last question, sir. I understand that you might be tired of the charade. Trust me, I am as well. Do you know if we have any means of communicating with the outside world so that maybe we may be able to post bail? If we can...
I was told your messenger bird was sent, and he licks his thumb again and turns the page.
Oh, you guys already did this. Great, fantastic. Okay, yeah, thank you. And Shift's just going to sit down and wait.
I would love for Arger to be the lawyer to defend us to get us out of jail.
Billy just mouthing no and shaking his head. And with that, as the guard pointedly ignores you, what I'm going to do is I'm going to fast forward us to morning. The guard continued throughout the night to pointedly ignore you, but actively watch you to make sure you don't go anywhere or try anything funny. And the next morning, anyone who may have nodded off kind of wakes up to the smell of fresh bread. They at least give you bread. And also, surprisingly enough, juice boxes. You don't know who sent them, because there's a different guard. She's a woman now, and she's kind of perched on a chair just across from you, also watching you. Kind of just drumming her fingers on the seat of the chair.
Hi, I'm Hank.
Hi, I'm Faye.
You seem a lot more pleasant than the other one. I appreciate that. It's very welcoming.
I'm not. This is just my face.
Oh, good.
She has anti-resting bitch face. She has resting pleasant face.
Yeah, I have the same problem, so it's a real thing. She has retail face.
Oh, okay.
Good morning. How are
smiles
you?
but dead inside. Perfect.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm sorry you feel that way.
Yeah, pretty much. And she just kind of drumming her fingers. And then you hear someone whistle from the left. And Faye looks, and you see the guard, the dwarven guard that was there last night. He looks really tired. He looks like he's probably about to go home. But he waves a hand at Faye, and he goes, "Hey, they've got someone." And she goes, "Ooh, you might be lucky." And she wanders off for a second, so you guys are just left in the cell by yourselves. You hear the dwarf talking, in a low voice, and you hear someone else talking back, a male voice, who's vaguely familiar. And a couple seconds later, you see the also familiar visage of Myson, still in a very elvish form, still dressed in his green fineries. And he looks at all of you, and he specifically looks at Tia. And then he looks at all of you, and he says, "I've paid your bail. I thought about what you said, and I believed that you did not know that this was a mission to steal, and that you made miscalculations. So I'm dropping the charges and paying your fine, but I need you all to come with me so I can further discuss this. I need to figure out if I can pinpoint where these messages are coming from so we can put a stop to it. Agreed?"
Sure. I can tell you one source.
Great. We'll talk about it over breakfast and tea.
Ah, thank God. This is fruit punch. It's disgusting.
Tia will say, I have 2 very important questions for you later.
Myson kind of nods solemnly, and he goes, okay. And he looks to the left, and he says, go on, let them out. And he starts walking towards the main entrance. Faye comes over with the keys. She's very thin and lithe. She's got like a pixie cut. And she opens the door, lets it swing open, and goes, okay. Vacate. As you guys exit, Myson is waiting out front for you, kind of expectantly. And I guess give me a perception check. You guys are over there bobbing, so why don't you tell me, Hannah and Pat, what you
Pat's
got?
just bobbing, so I'm bobbing. I got 15.
19.
21.
25.
18.
Everyone sees that at his feet is Tux. Like a little tiny familiar.
I immediately drop below and I go, kitty cat!
What's your AC?
Oh boy, here we go. 17.
Yeah, so he crit, and he
Oh, I
reaches
bet.
he hisses, reaches his little paw out, and scratches your nose for 2 damage.
Oh, no! No!
Steph, my Sapala's animal friendship lasts for 24 hours, so does he react positively when he sees Sapala? Because
Yeah, he probably meows at you.
I would have gotten down like, hey, Tux, do you remember me? We played all day together yesterday.
He butts his head into your knee
Oh, I give him, like, the soft pets.
and does little purrs.
Yes.
Myson kind of clears his throat and goes, this way. U&T is only just up the street.
Where?
U&T. It's the name of a tea shop up the street.
Oh.
Is it right next to us and bread? Maybe what?
sorry, I like the pun.
Maybe lunch and stuff.
Sure. I don't remember seeing those shops, but I don't go into town much.
Oh, you on tea? Now I get it. Here, he's gonna poison us.
He like, his eyebrows raise in concern. He's like, what? I don't understand.
They just serve you a glass, and you look in the glass, there's just snakes. It's like, ah!
You know, because like Yanti.
No, they give you a can of nuts, and they're like, "Here, have some nuts." And then you're like, "Ah!"
It's actual snakes.
No, it's run by a very lovely person named Yui, and Y-O-U-E. You and...
Oh, I thought it was a play on like snake people.
It might be, she is. Now that I think about it, she is Yuanti. I don't... I never made the connection. That's quite funny.
That is so fork tongue in cheek.
I look to Hank and I go, why would you think this guy wants to poison us when he let us out of the locked place?
A lot of things have been making little sense this week.
That's true. All right, let's get some tea.
He just...
So you guys wander up to the main center. Oh, I'm sorry, did you have something to say, Billy?
The only thing I would probably say is that the whole time, because Sapala hasn't said a word the whole time. I love the pun, but like Sapala hasn't reacted to anything. If anything, he probably looks really quiet and like really ashamed. He's not making eye contact with anyone. Like he hasn't said a word since last night, since he said sorry.
Oh.
He feels like he's a criminal. Like he's full on like
Oh.
he feels like a kid who got like sent to the corner. He feels awful. So he's just like eyes are down.
Is this obvious enough to where Shift can pick up on this as we're traveling to the tea shop?
You can insight it. Anyone who wants to can insight. Are you making a point to hide it? I don't think you would be, right?
No, like he's just like eyes down, like not like smiling his sim.
20.
20. Arger picks up on it right away. That's his best bud. He knows everything all about him.
This speaks volumes. I got a 1.
Oh, 1. Hank is really hungry and really angry about everything ever. So he's too busy thinking about how much he hates this guy, but how excited he is to like get breakfast at the same time.
They didn't even have like berry blast or anything like that. Those are like the best.
I got a 17 for insight.
Yeah, you would notice too. And Tia?
9.
Tia, you're very distracted by Tux. You're very excited to see your playmate from yesterday. And you're also trying to keep Barkley from, like, getting too close and eating the kitten. or getting his nose scratched. But Shift and Ardor both notice that Spall's being a little weird and distant.
I'll guess being the natural boy, I'll take the lead. I look over to Sapala and I just go, "You're sad, why?"
Spalla
We
just
try
kinda
not
looks
to
up
laugh at how fucking forthright that is.
Yeah, pretty much. And Sabal kind of looks up at Ardor, kind of like a half, like, forced smile, and she goes, Mr. Hank just said we were bad people, so I feel really bad about what we did.
What does he know? He just met you.
Well, yeah, we're all bad people. Like me, you, that guy. He, like, points twice at Myson.
Myson seems to be actively ignoring you.
Bad people do stupid things to try and be better people.
Oh, that at least had a little bit of a positive tone to it. I believe what Mr. Hank is trying to say is that at some points in your life, you can do bad things. Now, that doesn't necessarily make you a bad person. I mean, just listen to the dragon. He specifically bailed us out because there was obviously some sort of miscommunication. So, like, bad is not a permanent thing. Bad is something very temporary, and something that can be changed. So I feel like if we, again, I'm kind of working off of half information at this point, but I feel like if we follow the dragon, then we can make up for the bad act and thus redeem ourselves. Does that make sense?
Tia just walks up and holds his hand.
Oh.
So, if we basically make amends, we can make it right then?
Yes, and then we won't be bad people anymore, right? Because I don't honestly, I've seen a lot of different people, and I don't ever believe that anyone's actually, like, permanently bad, right? I think bad is just a temporary state of being, just like all things that it can change. There is no constant. You can easily become good in one moment and bad in the next. It's just everything is in constant flux. My perspective might be a little bit skewed, but I believe that this is something that all people live by. Me, maybe a little bit more than most, but I think the fact that things change, the world is in flow, everything is constantly moving and evolving. I think this is something that we can all live our life by. And if you feel bad about being a quote-unquote bad person, then I feel like you just need to do something about it.
Well, I mean, in my opinion, even though you're not asking for it, we are here. But I'll tell you this, I've lived a very long life and hopefully will live a very longer one. There are no bad people and there are no good people. There are only just people and unjust people. And you can change both of those things on a whim. Let's get some breakfast.
Yes, breakfast. Do you feel better? Do you feel better now?
You know, I actually kind of do. Thank you, Mr. Shift. And I'm really glad you you talked to me about this when you weren't blue, because I feel like it wouldn't have been as great a speech, if I'm honest.
Oh, yeah. That would have been a completely different conversation. Absolutely.
That's the one that I empathize with.
Oh, no.
And Sapala, like, visibly, like, cheers up and, like, goes in, like, first, right after the dragon.
So Myson holds the door open for you all. You hear a bell on the inside jingle as he opens it up. It's a very cute kind of place. Like, imagine your favorite breakfast spot. That's probably what it looks like. It's just like a little dinery hole in the wall kind of place.
Oh, fuck yeah, McDonald's.
You walk in immediately, like, you smell fried breakfast foods. They just hit you in the face, and you immediately want to eat everything that's available. And then, like, you know, kind of stale coffee smell that kind of lingers around breakfast places. And there's a Yuan-Ti woman standing at the hostess stand, essentially. And she sees that you're with Myson, smiles very big, and immediately gets a table ready for you. Like, no wait, no nothing, there's other people there. But she's like, no, front of the line. And she takes you guys to the back area, to a round, like, booth sort of area. Places all of your menus and says, "Oh, very nice to see you again, Mr. Mason. We have your table prepared as usual. Your waitress will be over shortly." And Myson says, "Thank you, Yui. It's so good to see you again." And you as well. Always, we're happy to have you grace our presence. And she kind of floats away back to the hostess stand.
Can I pull her over for a quick private conversation?
Sure.
I'll just kind of like pull her aside real quick and just be like, hey, just out of curiosity, how often do people, get like, and he like imitates loading a crossbow, like, here. Like, is this like one of those? I just want to know what I'm going into back there.
I don't imagine anyone's ever been injured in our
Perfect, cool. Nope.
tea shop.
That's all I wanted to hear. Thank you very much, Mrs.
What a strange question, and it's you.
Oh, thank you very much. I've been to some bad dinner invitations before.
This is a breakfast place. And then she turns around and leaves.
I would like to keep it noted that I am still holding Zapala's hand.
Sure, nothing bad ever happens at breakfast.
So Myson immediately plunks himself right in the middle, like a dad who's waiting for his kids to climb in after him. He just looks at you all expectantly.
Zapala will go in.
Yeah.
So you all sit down. This seems like a fairly popular place. It's pretty busy. There's all sorts of waitresses, multiple tables. There's probably 20 tables here altogether. And it's kind of a small town in general, so to have a restaurant this big and this popular is kind of impressive. You can definitely tell there are some tourists here, but you can also tell that this is definitely where the locals want to be. You can see people that just seem to be extremely comfortable here, like this is their second home, much like Myson. And you all get settled in at your table, and Myson kind of flaps open the menu real quick, but then closes it pretty immediately, pretty set on when he knows what he wants. And he looks around at all of you and says, well, once you decide what to order, we should definitely get down to business. I do hope you have leads for me, because this has been troubling me for many months now. You're about the fourth person I've had to send to jail for trying to break and enter. You're the only successful people. Everyone else got severely burned and showed up wandering the garden slightly ablaze.
Is that why we get rewarded with breakfast?
Not particularly. It's just breakfast time. It seemed convenient.
Zapala's just raising his hand as he's looking through the menu, and he's just Mr. Myson?
Yes, call me Mason while we're here.
Mr. Mason. There's a lot of options for these things called pancakes. Are they any good?
Oh, they're delicious, and I do recommend them if you've never had any.
I think I will have those pancake things then.
Now hold on, Zapala. You might be on a tight budget. How much is that? Like kind of dad mode, looking over the price of everything on the menu.
Don't worry about it.
Oh, okay. He looks right at the waitress. Is she available?
So a waitress starts to come up to the table. Tia, give me a perception check.
I was just gonna say, I'm gonna order the most expensive thing. I don't care what it is.
Of course you are.
Gotta try those eggs bennies.
19?
Tia, this is your friend Rain. She's wearing a uniform for the cafe, and she seems to have her head kind of lowered. She's writing in her notepad, in a busy sort of way. She looks around at the table, puts on that waitress sort of smile, and goes, well, what can I get for everybody? And then she locks eyes with you. There's a moment that passes through her eyes, and she gives you this look don't say anything right now. And she goes, a little bit stumbled. And then she looks at Myson and she goes, the usual, Mr. Mason? And he says, yes, please. And she writes something down. Then she looks to Hank.
I want, this. They just, whatever has the highest price tag on the menu.
You point out the steak and eggs breakfast extravaganza. It's steak, eggs, the whole shebang-a-bang, biscuits, gravy.
I'm starving. They didn't feed us.
And she writes it down, and then she looks at Arger.
What?
Breakfast. Oh, menu. Do you want something meaty or something vegetarian?
He looks at the menu and he just goes, I don't know what any of this is.
He'll have the same thing I'm having.
Because he can't read. Okay, and she just writes another thing.
We're having cow.
And she looks at Zapala, and she says, and I overheard you wanted the pancakes?
Oh, yes. With a side of, do you guys have bacon?
We do.
I would like bacon.
And she scribbles that down. She looks at Chef.
Yes, could I get your a vegetarian omelet, please?
Absolutely. And she looks at Tia and she goes, "What's that, ma'am? You need me to show you where the bathroom is?"
Yes, please. I have to go real bad.
I could tell by the look on your face.
I go up and follow her.
That is one hell of a waitress. Just looks at people and knows when they have to pee. I mean, it's a weird skill set, but...
And Myson just goes, "Oh, the wait staff here are very good."
RJ just goes, "But you didn't say anything, but what?"
The waitress kind of grabs Tia, like, gently by the shoulder and starts leading her towards where you assume the facilities must be.
No, of course, I'd love to read a mid-roll. It's not like we were doing anything right now. Anyways, special thanks to Aaron Gibbs and Daniel Barton for being our God-tier patrons. They are my first favorite thing about doing this podcast. And if you want to support us at home, you can join us at patreon.com/fantasybanjo. If you excuse me, I gotta go help Archer. He's got his trunk stuck in places.
Rain runs into Liddy's room, checks the 2 stalls, locks the bathroom door behind her, and then turns to Tia.
I immediately hug her. Just like, no words, no nothing. Like, freaking ball crying. Just like, absolute tears. Like, oh my god, I missed you so much.
She hugs you back and she's like, "I missed you too, Tia. I am, like, so surprised that you're here, though. You got my letter?"
I have no idea what your letter means. It was very degraded.
Oh.
And I show her the laminated letter that she sent me, like...
Oh. Yeah, I see that it got very beat up on its way to you. I'm sorry.
Before she has a chance to finish it, just hold her face like, "Are you okay? You look fine."
I'm okay. The reason I took you in here was because, and she lowers her voice, and she goes, "Because I'm undercover. Here, I'm not Rain. Here, I'm Neri. Okay?
Okay.
And this whole joint, I'm confident, is a cover for this guild of some sort, and they're doing something shady in the town. And I don't know how Mr. Mason hasn't noticed, because I have picked up on that he is more than he seems, and he's the justice of this place anyway, so you'd think he'd have better judgment. But something's going on, and I'm trying to keep my cover here. And if they find out..."
Do you know what he is?
"An elf?"
No, he's a dragon.
"What?"
He's a dragon!
And she looks fucking horrified. She's like, "Oh."
I thought you knew, because you sent me the letter, "The Most Beautiful Gardens," that's where he lives, and he's a dragon.
"Well, it's very beautiful, and I couldn't think of any other landmarks in some podunk town like this."
Well, he's a dragon. I just blew his cover, but he's a dragon. I don't know him personally. We tried to...
"Your brother
Oh, Tio.
is alive."
He's what? And Tia just starts kind of like shaking, and she's just kind of like trying not to yell because she doesn't want to raise suspicion.
Breathe. I know it's a lot. I know it's a lot of information. But that's why I went undercover. I'm trying to pretend to be like them. And they have Tio somewhere, and I'm not sure where, but I know he's alive.
How do you know he's alive?
I saw him, but just for a minute. And I heard him, I swear.
What? Where did you see him last?
In Lovely Gardens. But that was right before they took him. And I've heard through the grapevine, as they start trusting me, that they're keeping him somewhere because they need to send him back to your parents. I think they might be, I don't know, like washing his brain or something, and I think they're going to send him back to your parents to try and do something there, and I don't know what it is. I don't know.
She's just standing there in shock, like, fuck, that's a lot more information than she thought she was going to get on this trip.
I have been digging and digging, and I have been undercover this whole time, because as soon as I saw you, I know I needed help. And you're my girl, so I wasn't about to let something bad happen to our kingdom.
She sits there and she like tells her like about her meditating because they're best friends. She can say everything about how when she was meditating by the docks that they said don't trust him, but she doesn't recognize the voice or anything, and if that means anything to her.
That's weird. I mean, I don't think that's anything that this group is doing.
I don't know. It's weird because they travel. They're all boys. Who's him? Which him?
I don't know. I don't know. You don't think they were talking about Tio, do you?
Tio, maybe Myson? I don't know.
I don't know. That's a lot, and it's so
I
big.
know. I've been struggling with this.
I've never had that happen before. You didn't hit your head, right?
No, I didn't hit my head. I'm fine.
I'm just making sure.
No.
Okay. So this is what we're gonna do. I, the waitress Neri, showed you, the customer, where the ladies' room was. And we were in here so long because someone before you clogged the toilet. Got it?
Got it.
Okay. I'm gonna go.
And before she actually leaves, she grabs her again, just like, it's been so long, I missed you so much.
She hugs you again. She's like, don't worry. We're gonna figure this out together. I think, okay, we have to meet in secret after this. I don't know if you're gonna still be here tonight, but if you are, where are you staying? Are you staying anywhere? I don't know.
We stayed at a tavern the other night, and last night we spent the night in jail. I don't know where we're gonna be.
Okay.
I just kind of went on a whim to come find you. I didn't think I would find you this quickly. I'm very happy that I found you this quickly, but I didn't know. I
didn't know you were coming. I thought my letter didn't make it.
You didn't give me a return address or anything either. Like,
I wanted to be secret in case the letter was intercepted.
Fair.
So meet me in front of the Dragon Head in the gardens tonight as soon as the moon comes up, if you're still in the town. And we'll figure out what to do from there. If I'm not there, though, don't look for me, because I don't want you to get hurt. And you already know the most important part. One of us needs to be able to make it back to the kingdom to stop Tio. She gives you one more good squeeze, and she goes, you got this, and then kind of leaves. You hear her voice kind of talking to another waitress who obviously noticed that she was missing for a minute, and then you hear them both laughing. And yeah, like, ha 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 ha, the toilet is always clogging. It's so ridiculous.
Ha ha ha, people poop.
Ha, pooping. We're back on that. God, I suck. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and move us forward then to the table where Hank, Myson, Shift, Sapala, and Arger are all sitting around after Tia kind of was like, emergency bathroom. So at this point, a lot of the food has come, because they're very quick in here. And Myson has a very large cup of what appears to be jasmine tea. And he's sipping it, holding it in both his hands. It looks more like a bowl of tea than a cup. And he looks around at all of you and he's like, well, while we're waiting for your friend, I assume, since you seemed so adamant, and he looks at Hank, that you had something you could share about this mission that you had had.
So, per the paperwork, and do I still have the contract on me, or?
He took that contract, if you recall.
Yeah.
The only paperwork that you have is you have the map that Song drew for you, and you have a picture of the box that you were supposed to obtain that was, like, sketched for you.
She didn't sign the picture, right? Okay, because I know she signed the map. So I don't want to show him. I don't want to show him the map. It's like, so
yeah.
Per that contract I gave you, we were told to come by and ask you for this box, and that the box would be given to us
upon request.
Upon request. So,
interesting.
Much to my chagrin, it didn't go like that.
That's a very sneaky way of trying to get you to get in here, isn't it?
Yes.
I suppose at that point, then, they decided that you would have to make your own decision about how to obtain it, as you did.
Pretty much.
Sorry about that.
It is all right, little one. What was your name?
Sapala, sir.
Sapala, you need not feel shame. It was learning. And now you've learned. Just don't repeat this mistake that you've made once before, and you never need feel sorry for it.
I certainly learned something. The guy that gave me this contract is an asshole.
Who was it? Do you know his name?
Yes, I do. It is Jonathan Gromley. He's over at Cattery Cliffs in a shop called Catatonic.
Not heard of him.
He's about yay tall. And he kind of talks like this.
Huh.
And says stupid things like, boy.
Do the rest of you feel that this Gromley person, do you feel that he is in liege with thieves? Do you feel he is an untrustworthy individual?
I mean, he does say a lot of things like it's so hard to be old and you forget things. So I hope not. But I mean, Mr. Hank, back in the room, I guess, where we were found, you did say that they didn't say there was a person that gave him the contract. There wasn't a name attached, right? So wouldn't Mr. Gonathan just be some kind of go-between without knowing?
There's rungs in this asshole ladder, and I know that he's the next asshole up. I don't know who's at the top of the ladder, but I know the next rung.
Archer looks confused and just looks to Hank and goes, an asshole ladder? That sounds very confusing. I don't like the sound of that at all.
It's a hierarchy. It's a pyramid.
I don't know what that is either. But, Archer starts poking at his food and he just goes, what are these things next to the round thing with the food on it?
Silverware.
What do you do with them?
Sapala will immediately just show him with the pancake, to just cut off one of the pieces of the first pancake and be like this.
Whoa!
Take a bite, and his eyes just go wide, and he's like, pancakes are great.
I told you they were good here.
But you can make food smaller with the shiny stuff. Oh, I usually just shove it in my face.
I mean, that is another way in which to eat. Neither option is incorrect. One of them is just more polite.
Oh. He then proceeds to... He, looks down and gets, level with his plate and he goes, is this more polite, or do you use the shiny things?
I will not judge you for however you ingest your meal, sir. Seems odd.
He then is just focused on the fork and knife, awkwardly learning how to use them.
Cool, roll me a dex. I'm gonna fish for a 1.
Nat 20.
Oh, shit! Somehow you suddenly have a flashback to being back home, and your mother used to carve very similar utensils out of wood for you to use, but only on rare occasions where you had something particularly messy.
Oh, these are the nice things. Oh, I know Mom would yell when I'd get, soup on me. So she had, the bucket, the little bucket on a stick that you would take out of the other bigger bucket that would have the soup in it.
We call that a spoon.
Spoon.
Or a ladle, depending on the size of the spoon.
Or ladle.
Yes, an asshole ladle.
I don't want anything to do with an asshole ladle. It sounds like a bad time.
I don't want an asshole ladle either. So you're uncertain if he is directly linked to some sort of nefarious... You suspect he may have gotten the job from somewhere else unknowingly?
Most likely. He did say that he got it from proprietors or people asking for the job. So, if this is a hill and it's rolling down, we're at the bottom of the hill. He's slightly higher in the hill.
Intriguing.
I don't think he's the top of the hill. He doesn't strike me as a smart fella. But he at least would know who's up higher on the hill. Or the ladder.
Fair enough.
Well, then, Mr. Hank, wouldn't it make more sense that Mr. Gonathan would know where to bring it after we brought it to him? Wouldn't he know where the delivery would go?
That's what I'm getting at.
So here's my thought, if you don't mind helping out an old dragon. I obviously need to stay here to guard certain things. I'm going to confide in you. And you see him wave his hand for a second. Anyone who wants to do an Arcana check can do that.
Am I back yet?
Yeah, we can say that you've come back to the table kind of quietly after that very intense moment and sidled back in.
I have a -1, so I got an 18.
17.
12 plus 6, 18.
23.
3.
Aww.
Tia is still extremely distraught and is the only one that doesn't see there's a sudden magical ripple in the air around you as he waves his hand. You see his cat kind of perches up on his shoulder, alert. And it seems that he's cast some sort of spell to prevent other people from eavesdropping. And he says, within that box are the remains of my great-grandfather. His gizzard, specifically.
Gross.
Unfortunately, according to my god, some nefarious people desire this box which seals in this gizzard with stones in it, because apparently it is a part of some spell, a taboo spell, very powerful old magic. Well, word is that if you manage to complete this spell and get all of the extraordinarily difficult to obtain ingredients, one may become a god.
What?
I know we are very distant from the god these days, but there was a legend, I thought it was only a legend, that back in the days of gods, there were many more gods, and some of them fell out of favor, for lack of a better term. Well, one of these gods was supposedly so infuriated that he fell out of favor that he created a spell to remedy it. It did require some rather challenging to obtain ingredients, and certain ley lines were involved. The legend went that had he been successful, he would have replaced one of the gods himself. And my god has tasked me with guarding this item, and now people are trying to steal it, which leads me to think that maybe that wasn't a legend, that maybe someone is after achieving that goal.
A quick question, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Who's your god?
Bahamut.
Oh, I guess that makes sense.
Arger, when he says become a god, immediately his eyes widen as big as saucers, and he goes, question. If you become a god, can you go back in time?
I suppose it would depend on what kind of god you were. I don't know many gods that could. Although there are a few. I've heard the goddess of change does kind of what she wants as she wills, so I imagine someone like her could. Why?
Well, if you'd like to know, I was attached to someone romantically in the past, and I'm obviously not from around here. So I figured if I became a god, I can go back in time and see you.
Sir, I must, on good faith, tell you that if you attempt to obtain these ingredients and become a god, I will be forced to slay you.
That's bad. I should probably not do that.
It is not the ideal. I don't want to have to do that, but I will, as it is my honor and duty to do so.
One final follow-up question. If I can't do that, do you have any other suggestions on how I can fix my problem?
Fall in love again.
Can't do that, but alright, thank you.
This is a very recent development. Like, not a very recent development, but a recent development.
Ah, well, grieving a loved one is difficult, but not impossible. I wish you luck in your endeavor, sir, and look forward instead of back.
Okay. He then faces to the right.
Well, there's one way to take that. He doesn't really seem, perturbed at all by how odd Arger is. He just kind of, I see.
He's come to terms with his simplistic nature.
Right.
Mr. Mason, this wasn't the only job we had for an option. I mean, the other job we had was to see about trying to find a dragon turtle. So,
Really?
did any of the, what other ingredients are included in that legend? I mean, maybe it's...
I would be unwise to tell you all of them, but I do suspect that might just be another. This even more deeply concerns me.
Well, to be fair, it wasn't exactly a dragon turtle. That was kind of a conclusion that we came to. Really, the quest, if you would, was to find an item that was on a moving island. We just kind of, because we recently had a situation with a dragon turtle, we kind of just assumed that was a correlation. But,
I mean, it would make sense. It's very difficult to move an island. If it were a dragon turtle, it would logically make a lot of sense.
Yeah, a lot more mobile. Yes, for sure.
I can tell you that I know that each of these ingredients, there are 4 of them, and all of them were given to separate gods and goddesses to protect. Obviously, Bahamut had my grandfather's gizzard. It was only right, as his heir, that I should guard his remains. He is my family. And there are 3 others out there, and I suspect if 2 of them are already being looked for, that either 2 are obtained or will be soon.
The one we thought is on a dragon turtle, would that possibly be Deep Shisalis?
Could be. I'm not sure exactly which gods and goddesses were given what. I only know Bahamut was given his, and that's what I was tasked with, but... and I thought it would be too arrogant of me to ask more.
That's probably more the security measure of it, too. You know, if you know that there's 4 pieces, you don't know who has what piece, so that way it keeps it secure. So that way, you know, no one strong arms one to get the other one, yada yada. The playbook's written old as time.
Yes, if one has no people, then one can't be betrayed.
This is so. And thankfully, gold dragons are primarily alone.
Oh, you got your little fairy friend.
Yes, I occasionally do have companions of this nature.
Well, I think it's quite clear what the next steps are to be taken. I don't know if I'll be there alongside with you, but it's obvious that we need to...
Kidnap Jonathan.
Well, that wasn't exactly what I was going to say.
I would not recommend doing anything out of order. However, if you do question him and learn of his source, please do send a messenger bird, and I will investigate immediately. I have many sources, so I'm quite old, and I'm willing to be of use to you to help sort out this problem if you don't mind working with me.
Yeah, of course. Actually, it's quite funny that that Jonathan character always references his age as well. You sure you don't know him?
No, I've not heard of him.
Yeah. Maybe he's a dragon. Do you think Jonathan's a dragon?
Oh god, hopefully not.
We're very rare. It would be strange if I did not know another dragon.
Nobody drew a very beautiful picture of a pseudo-dragon for me.
Well, that's kind. So, Mycen kind of looks at all of you and says, also, I would like you all to keep an eye out on any disturbing creatures you might encounter, because I have noticed there was a disturbance... How do I say this? And I see it mostly also with you. You may be part of the disturbance, and he points to Shift. He says, I've noticed a disturbance in the plains. It's been going on for a couple 100 years now, only echoes of it, but lately it's been intensifying, and it's almost as if the plains are torn somewhere, and I'm not sure. Have any of you experienced that? Perhaps seen strange animals, or people in the wrong time, or...
Gestures vaguely, like...
Shifter starts, chuckling. He's trying to remain respectful, but, as he's describing this thing, it's becoming harder and harder for him to, hold back, the laughter. He's like, I'm sorry. I deeply apologize. I'm not laughing at you. You've quite literally explained my existence for the past century.
Ah, so yes, you are in the wrong time.
I am in the wrong place. I don't know if time is a factor. I haven't quite...
You're Eladrin, are you not?
Correct.
So you're technically in the wrong plane.
Plane, correct, yes. Again, time's not a factor. The gentleman, well, do you mind if I call you gentleman? And he kind of motions towards Arger.
Sure. I don't even know what that means, but yeah, I'm not supposed to be here.
If you break it down, it means a gentle male.
Sometimes I'm gentle, but, I can be nice when I have to be, but, I'm from the old time, and now I'm in this time.
You are literally from out of time, and you're from out of plane. Has anyone else encountered something strange in this group? This is the first time anyone has actually had something to say about this, and he looks very intense at everybody.
Shift just kind of shoots his arm up. So, to kind of go back along to the plane thing, I've never reappeared in the same plane of existence more than once throughout the past 100 years. This is the first time that not only have I appeared in the same plane, but in the same group of people.
He kind of leans back in his chair a little, looking extremely intrigued by this.
Tia would probably chime in and be like, well, on our way here, we did come across a ship that was, wrecked, and it had a bunch of exotic animals on it.
Really?
Yes. There was one that I believe...
Animals that shouldn't...
One of them I believe was a dragon that might have done something to the Aerei cliffs.
Oh.
Very strange animals. All of them are strange to me because I'm new, but
to
he
be
was
fair,
there.
dragons, we are not animals, but...
Well, he didn't seem nearly as nice.
but not all of us are friendly.
I don't know if this would be the same thing, but I came across a goddess sealed away in a trident. Is that something relevant?
I'm sorry, you came across a sealed goddess?
Well, formerly sealed. Now she's unsealed, I think.
He looks fucking like if an elvish man could look fucking horrified while also trying to be composed, that's what his face is.
Mild shock.
Yeah, I see.
Did I say something wrong?
No, I'm just deeply intrigued and concerned in the same breath.
I mean, his bird's also an accountant and a life coach, and...
Well, I can see from here his bird is some sort of a familiar.
Yes, and nothing else.
Myson kind of locks eyes with you. Roll me a deception check.
I was gonna say, can anybody else do that insight check?
Yeah.
Yeah, Archer doesn't understand. He's just gonna go, yeah, okay. He's just gonna go with it.
So I rolled low and I got a 10, which is shitty because deception's my highest score.
Oh.
Yes.
You're still extremely distraught from the conversation you just had.
18 in insight.
Same, 18.
Shift and Sapala both know something's up immediately, and Myson kind of folds his hands, steeples them, and says, "Would you like to try answering my question again? What else do you know about the Shiften Plains? The both of you?" He says, looking at Hank and Ari. Ari fluffs up real big.
Can I have a private sidebar with my legal advisor?
As long as you don't run.
Well, I mean, that would be stupid, right?
Yes.
Step out a little zone thing, because I assume it's a zone of silence.
Yeah, it's essentially, but it's like reverse, so like no one can hear inside it. We can talk inside it and hear.
So he would be able to hear me outside of it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to the bathroom. Tia, where was that?
I just kind of point over to it.
Okay.
Double check that the toilet's not clogged again.
Ew, gross. Why would I check that? That's not my job.
And so Hank goes to the bathroom, Myson leans into the table, and this is where we're going to end. He leans into the table, he looks at all of you and says, "I believe you are all the biggest puzzle piece I've found in my mission so far. I believe you were chosen." And that's where we're going to go ahead and end our session.
Thank you for tuning in to Standard Array. Help our show grow by leaving us a review on your podcast player of choice and sharing us with your friends, players, and DMs. Also, please make sure to follow us on social media or on our Discord server for our next adventure. Links are in this episode's description.